I am Amy Hood.
And I'm B.
And we are two parts of Hoodzpah, a brand and identity and type design studio here in Southern California. We are like 2 of 4 of the Beatles. And if I had to choose who I was, I'd say I was Paul, because I'm just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. Gal. Who would you be? Ringo?
Sure.
No, George.
I'll be
the
George.
Silent, mysterious, like, kind of like brooding, like, I love George. Poor George. He always gets the shaft, you know? Like, he's always like, if there's like a box set of Beatles DVDs or like CDs, like George's face is the one that's going off the front and onto the spine. Like,
Just how I like it.
So disrespected. It's unbelievable. Like, even Ringo gets more respect. How is that?
It's not right.
How is that? How is that? Okay. So, welcome to the chat, everyone. Hello, Natasha. What's up? Fellow Fabus course member. We've got Nick Kramer. Hello. What's up, everyone? Where are y'all tuning in from? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Today we'll be watching. You'll be watching. I'll be doing, hopefully. We will be working on some live lettering. We are currently in the process of working on a second edition for our book that we wrote about just how to freelance, how to run your own studio, how to do business, just like the business basics. There's many ways, but I think that there's like a couple of basics that can really help you kind of like get your footing as a creative in the business world. And so that's what the book's about. It's called Freelance and Business and Stuff. And for the second edition, we're going to add a few chapters, update some content because, of course, business, taxes, laws are always changing.
Always.
And so we're going to update also the illustrations because I feel like business books can be so like hefty, heady, wordy, and I always used to love in high school, like when the textbooks would have like all the cool diagrams and like figures and stuff. Yeah, like because I don't like science, but boy did I love that science textbook.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the diagrams were so cool. Like, what was your favorite subject in high school?
Probably history. Actually, I was fascinated by history.
History was actually really good,
and there was a lot of movies.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like they would let you watch movies. Yeah, like oh man, so
and Japanese.
You took Japanese?
Yeah, I took Japanese.
Oh my gosh.
Arigato.
Wow. learning things about each other all the time. Oh my gosh, we have someone from Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's so neat. What's up, Lydia? Welcome. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's see. I'm just going to jump into my design screen here. Let's get rid of this. I have to. Okay. So here's where we're at. This illustration is for our chapter called, I think it is called Cash. No, what's it called? Let's see if I can find it. It's basically about getting your finances in order because, unfortunately, we live in a world where cash is king and you need money to survive, to pay your rent, to pay your Netflix, to pay all that kind of stuff. So this chapter is all about that. So we're making a new illustration based on the famous quote, "Cash rules everything around me," by Wu-Tang.
Dollar bill, yeah.
I mean, everybody knows it, everybody loves it, and that's what we're working on today. So, so what we had in mind, if you were with us last time, you probably already saw this, but we'll just recap a little bit, is we're kind of doing like a collage-y style with a bunch of different styles of typography, and then we're putting in this cool little grid, and I got the idea from a little illustration, or like, I should say layout that I did last year for my 10 by 19. Oh gosh, it was 2 years ago. Time is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, for Jeff Lynne of ELO, his album From Out of Nowhere. And I just love this style of like mixing a lot of fonts, or I see it a lot in like, if you buy those logo books where you can see all the different trademarks from around the world, you'll see a lot of this, like the different styles of logos all kind of in a grid. And it's just so cool to see the variation. So that's kind of the style that we're going for. And I pulled in some examples of some like really complex, like black letter and like just frilly style types because I want to like work some of that in. So we have all these sort of things, and we want to work in some currency symbols because a lot of these currency symbols can double as letters. Like the dollar bill sign can be an S. So we're trying to get super clever with it, and that's what we're working on. Okay, so we've got like the top half done. We did that the last time. We made this super beautiful M. You can check out the last video if you're like interested in how we made that black letter. It was super fun. And I copied in a few other things just from like previous things I've done. Like I found this R that I did on a different project and never used. And I'm like, why does it have to die? Why can't it be, let's revive it for this. Let's use it somewhere. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find a lot of different like lettering things that I presented to a client maybe and didn't get approved. And I'm going to revive them, give them new life in a new way. So, okay, so we've got Cash.
You're like the
Pushing Daisies
Frankenstein
girl?
of
Dr. Frankenstein?
Dr. Frankenstein.
We just watched Young Frankenstein the other day, and that was so funny. Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Okay, Cash rules every, so we need to start with T. So I'm just going to refer to my little sketch over here. Okay, so I think we're using a currency symbol for that one. Let me see if I can find it here in my sketches. Yeah, the Mongolian Tagrog is like a T with this like double slash on it. So I'm going to kind of do a stylized T and then add those like two little swashy things. So for this kind of like a swash like this, I'm going to start with 2 circles because getting those perfect swashes can be really tough, and I like to start with like perfect geometric shapes and then kind of tweak them from there if I'm like kind of feeling overwhelmed or uncomfortable. So I'm just going to switch this to a stroke. I just took a circle and I cut it at a couple places, and I'm going to option drag that to create a copy, and I'm just going to hold shift and rotate it around and move it up a few.
Narek Mugg says, "Hi, Amy. I'm going to the Lakers game today."
Narek, what? Did you have to, like, your future children will not be able to go to college because I'm sure those tickets were a pretty penny, but oh my gosh, it's worth it. It's worth it. Your kids can figure something out.
Also, lemonade stands.
There we go. Teach them hard work. Make them pay for their own school. My dad did that. And I thank him for it.
J. Mark Bowden says, that R is fun times.
That R is fun times. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just customizing this thing that already exists. It's so much easier than starting from scratch sometimes. Like if you're not comfortable with your pen tool and like getting your getting those rounds really nice and not like kinky.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah, it's really
kinky
tough.
Rounds.
Kinky rounds. I mean, sometimes you want kinky, but like on the rounds, not so much. Okay, so that's not looking right. There's still a kink because now that I've like duplicated, I can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect these two. I'm going to rectangle select with my direct select tool, those 2 points, and I'm just going to go Command J to join those. And then I'm just going to go Shift C, and I'm going to re-pull out my handles so I can make them straighter. So I'm going to start there.
Narek says, who needs 2 kidneys?
Exactly. Let's see if you know what, maybe I don't even.
Hey, Ronnie Wickard is in the chat.
What's up, Ronnie?
We're back.
So I actually ended up just deleting that anchor point, and look how smooth that is now. If you're getting too many kinks in your lines, a lot of times you have too many anchor points. If you get too many anchor points, there's too many handles, too many curves that you have to account for. The least amount of anchor points and handles, the easier it is to finesse your curves. So that's what I found anyway. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Feel free to tweet me. So there's my upper swash of my T that I've got over here. Now I want to do like kind of like ball ends. Sounds weird. But I want to do like this. Just gonna fill that in. And then I want to add like some width here.
Ooh.
So I think I just option drag that down so I could mimic the curve without having to draw it by hand. Like who has time for that? And then, oh my gosh, this trick is so cool. I don't know if I showed you all this the last time, but if I direct select those last 3 anchor points on my curve, I can actually scale just those areas. So I'm going to go to my scale tool if I can find it. I think it's up here. There we go. And I'm just going to shift and scale that area and then just kind of like move it up with my arrow. I mean, how easy is that?
It's magic.
Who wants to redraw that? I don't. And then I'm just kind of adjusting as I go.
Ronnie says he's exercising and watching simultaneously. Wish him luck. And he's gonna finesse his curves.
Don't get rid of them totally. You don't want to be straight up and down, you know? Keep those curves. But also, I appreciate that because I don't like working out, so I work out in front of the
television,
the TV,
the boob tube.
and oh, you know what? I need to like move this out a little bit first, I think, and then But it's totally how I motivate myself is I'll just like watch a program, do it in the commercial breaks to make the commercial breaks go faster if I'm watching like a live game or something. So good on you, man. Or, you know, however you identify. Okay, so this one is being a little bit more tough. I'm not sure like where to scale it from. My little trick can be harder sometimes depending. So I think what I'm going to do is cut it in the middle. I've got this little guide of where my center is. I'm just going to cut it here. And I'm going to just option drag this curve, which is perfect, and use that one to start. Oh, you know what? It won't be the same because that curve is wider. That's what's happening here. Okay, so now I know what to do, I think. So I'm just going to select these again, do my scale thing. And actually, I think I'll just move these in. Yeah, there we go. And then adjust from there. I also used to work out while I was eating chocolate. Like I'd be eating a Reese's cup, like watching.
This is a fact.
Yeah, like watching a Lakers game or whatever, and I'd be like just
a bite
chomping
and a
on
squat.
it. Yeah. You know, you gotta whatever you gotta do to like make yourself feel okay. You know.
That's
so what
funny.
I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna copy this in front again, and I just need that little piece there.
So Kaushik Murali says, "Hey Amy, love all your type work. When did you start doubling down on type instead of other aspects of design, that is?"
That's a good, okay, when did I start doubling down? I think when I started was when I realized that, I'm just gonna lock this really quickly. Object, where's lock again? Lock, there we go. When I started doing a lot of brand work, because a lot of times I would have in my mind the kind of type that I wanted for a project, and you can scroll those font sites sometimes till your eyes bleed, and you're still not guaranteed that you'll find what you need. So a lot of times I just found that I'd be like, okay, I know I can make this. I know I have like the skills if I just practice a little bit and just try. And so that's kind of how it started, was just kind of looking for something very specific and not finding it, and so trying to create it myself. And yeah, I'm so glad I did, because as scary as it is, it's like you think, oh, I can't do that. But you can do that. And then it became like, again, something that is like one of my favorite things to do that I didn't know how to do previously. You know, it's like you don't know if you like something until you try it. Mm-hmm. So you got to just kind of like try a lot of things. We just released our latest font. It's called Santa Ana Sands, like yesterday, and it has been a whirlwind to get it all going. Luckily I had B to help me like get the product posts going and like all the stuff that like you think, oh, I'll make a typeface, it's so easy, what's everyone complaining about, why does it take so long? And then like the making the letters, that's the easy part. The actual like kerning, like making sure all the letters when they're in different text strings look good next to each other, making different weights, making different like italics and styles and stuff, like that's what takes forever. And it's good to have backup for sure. You're doing like a big family.
Wild Giant Studio says, "What's up, Hoodzpah?"
Oh my gosh, Cobb and Cleve, how you doing, man? What's up? How's it going?
And Mark says, "That's exactly how I work out, but I use ding dongs and Pop Tarts."
Ding dongs? Who eats ding dongs anymore?
Mark, ding dongs.
Ding dongs eat ding dongs. Ding dongs are gross. And I'd rather have a Debbie cake. Debbie cakes.
Yeah, I agree. Natasha Priya says, "Good luck to Ronnie. You have more bravery than she does. She made bacon and is watching this instead of going to the gym." And I feel that. I want some bacon while I watch this. I can't remember the last time I went to a gym. It's
been a while.
5 years ago.
My little trick isn't working, so I'm going to maybe I need to select those two. Yeah, we used to love going to the gym.
We had a nice gym.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Except for the creepos there.
Was there creepos?
Some of them.
I didn't notice that many. I was actually surprised. It's so funny because I think everyone was so aware of not being creepy that they were actually like, it's not rude, but they were just completely
rude.
Yeah, unavailable. Like you would, like it's just nice to just be like, "Hi, how's it going?" Like if you're on a long corridor and somebody's walking towards you, it's just like, maybe that's just the Southern in me to be like, "Hi, how's it going?" But people would just be like looking at their feet, just walking straight past you. It's like, what's happening? What's happening here?
Wild Giant Studios. I'm stoked to be listening. Hope y'all are well. Lakers Blazers gonna happen in the playoffs?
Oh
Question
my
mark.
gosh, wouldn't that be amazing? First of all, this Lakers Suns series has been a whirlwind and so exciting, and I've loved every second of it. Anthony Davis finally woke up in game 2, which was really exciting. But I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, it'll be fun to watch no matter what, but I'm like, I don't know. I hope the Lakers make it, and I feel like if LeBron's on it, they will, but dang, the Suns were on it, you know? But it'd be so fun to have Portland again, because I love me some Dame time. Okay, so I'm trying to kind of get some interesting something going on with those two, like, swashes. I'm not 100% sure on that, like, weight that we've got going. Maybe it needs to be a little, maybe I should just start out with, like, a really wide bar and then go from there. I'll just shear this, I think. And then we'll see if that looks a little bit better. I'll shear it this way, and then I have to shear it to the left a bit, too, to match my other, or to the right, to match my other. It's kind of like an italic tee. Okay, so I think that's a little bit better.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, so I'm just going to keep going.
I love it.
We'll be able to see what's wrong with it once we put it in there. Okay, so definitely it adds a funky element, which is cool. So I'm going to put that in here. And I think we said we liked how they kind of break the frame sometimes, so maybe I will just have that kind of go edge to edge. It can't be contained. It looks like somebody doing like an Arnie, you know. Cool, that's looking good. Okay, so then we got to do our T. Actually, it might be a little too big. B, you actually watched a game with us. I was surprised. You're like sports. No, thank you.
I like hockey.
Oh,
always. But I just prefer live games.
Oh yeah, that's like always so much fun because it's like the camaraderie. It's almost like Bieber fever, like how they talk about screaming girls, how one starts screaming and then when
everyone's
it's a group mentality
and there's beer and hot dogs and it's that.
Well, not for the children at the Bieber concert, but back in the day. But like when you hear everyone yelling and there's like you feel like a sense of togetherness and it's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. But that game was good. It was like neck and neck.
Oh my gosh.
I were like games like that. I was like, what?
You're like, why? What's happening? It was so hilarious.
Why did you not get it in there?
Are you sure you don't like basketball?
I do not like it. I think in the recent years I've come to like it more.
So hilarious. You know what? This is gonna be for this H, I'm gonna make it real thick. A thick boy. Like a corgi.
Like a corgi.
And then maybe I'll round it. Okay, so I've got all these shapes and I'll pull these off my little sketch because it's kind of hard to see. So I'll pull those over here. Oh, you know what? There's going to be two thicks really close to each other, so maybe not there. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll do an outline. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pathfinder these together. And then if I go to my A, that hits my direct select and it selects all my individual anchor points on this like shape. And then I'm just going to go up to my corners thing in this tab at the top that opened up, and I'm just gonna start rounding those corners. That's a bit too much, so we'll go down to like 0.02. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, just adds like a soft kind of thing going on. And then I'm going to outline it, and I have this really cool Astute Graphics tool that allows me to like make a drop shadow super easy, which is great because I hate making drop shadows. So I'm just going to make sure I have a fill on that, and then I'm going to open this AG block shadow, and I'm going to just say shadow color is black, apply drop shadow.
Cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then you can just like shorten the length and do all this. Astute Graphics has all kinds of cool plugins for like Illustrator and I think like Photoshop and some of the other programs, but just cool, really quick things like this that are really handy. And yeah.
Saves so much time.
I know. That's what their whole thing is, like time-saving tricks, which is great. I think I'll do it a little short. Actually, maybe I'll
Becca Rodriguez, live hockey is the only way to watch hockey, and I too miss it.
It is funny. Jen and I tried to watch a Ducks game the other day, and we were just like, oh, it's just like not quite the same as when it's live, is it?
Yeah.
It's like not the same.
You're not there to see the blood when they punch each
other.
other.
Yeah, you're not there to be like, Gigas, you know, or whatever. I'm always like, why hasn't there been a fight yet? That's why I used to love when George Peros played. There was always a fight when George Peros played.
Yeah.
That was fun. And then maybe we could even do like you know what we could do, which would be really cool? So in my new font that I made, Santa Ana Sans, on sale now.
On sale.
I made all these fun little glyphs. So I'm just gonna open up my glyph panel, and I made this kind of like flower asterisk. And how neat would it be if we had like some decoration in here? So let's like, because it's so chunky, it's just begging to have some interest put in. Maybe like this.
Chris Porter says, always killing it with the custom type.
Chris Porter, what's up? Chris Porter he's a Memphis brand designer, and his trophy case rivals Michael Jordan's as far as design awards go. The man is prolific, him and his partner. The funny thing is I met his business partner, at like an old Nashville music venue that was really just a pizza spot where they let like bands with small followings play. And it was called Christopher's Pizza, and my friend's bands used to play there, and I just met his friend there just like at a show. And then like years later, I go to Chris's website, and my old Nashville friend is like his business partner. I couldn't believe it. It's such a small world.
Wow.
I love that. Don't you love that one?
That is cool, yeah.
Like, have you ever had one of those weird, like, wait, you know this person? How? Moments?
Yeah. Yes, actually, yes, with Justin and this old band. And he's like, oh, that lead singer used to live next door to me. It's like, what? No one knows this band. That's so cool.
Right. That is weird when someone knows, like, the local band that you thought no one cared about. You're like, what? So okay, cool. This looks cool.
That looks cool, yeah.
Like, sometimes you do something, you're like, I don't know, we'll just throw this together, and it, like, works out.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it looks better than anything that took you a lot of time, and then you feel hurt.
But also relieved that you didn't have to spend that much time.
But also relieved. But it makes you think, like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like chance that things work out. Oh, I didn't pay attention to how much I moved the other one, but
I think it was 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure. Okay.
That looks kind of cool. We'll just say that that's it. That looks really neat. I love that.
So cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So I'm going to command save because I forget to do that all the time. What did I lose all my work on the other day?
That bird thing.
Oh, yeah. Right? I was working on a project for a client, and we're, like, so close. It's all just, like, really slight changes that are, like, very time-consuming because you're trying to make sure that it's scalable, that it's exactly what the client wants. There's all these, like, things I'm trying to take into account. Like, they had a very specific thing of, like, the bird needs to be going upward and all these things. And then I had done all this work, and it was, like, nearly perfect, and then my whole computer crashed, and I lost everything. And normally the new Illustrator autosave saves me, but autosave was like, listen, lady, we needed to teach you a lesson. We can't have your back every time. Okay.
Tyler Metcalf was at a hockey game, live one, and saw a fan get hit in the face with a hockey puck. Whoa. Yike. Oh my gosh.
That would, like, I would be, like, seriously concerned that person would, like, never be the same. Like, that's how every serial killer, like, backstory starts. They're like, he had been hit hard as a child. It's like, oh no. It's like not what you want to happen. Okay, here's a cool trick. So I want to draw this eye, and it's squiggly, right? I want it to be squiggly, but I don't want to have to figure out how to do the squiggle. It's a lot of work. So I drew my diagonal that I want my squiggly to follow. And now I'm just drawing harsh edges. I'm going to draw these like harsh triangles, and I'm just going to round the triangles once I've got them. So let's see. Let's go over here.
Also, Andrew Hawkrattle says, good morning, friends.
Good morning. Hawk? How you doing? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Command D tool because it's so handy. I'm just going to go down there, and then I'm going to go Command D for like one more ziggy zag. And I'm going to join these paths. Oh, they're not quite there, so I'll just move this one up. Command J. And I'll move this one up likewise. Command J. Then what you're going to do is we're going to round corners again. So we're just going to go, you know, hit A on that path, and then it selects all your points. And then you just start, look at that. It's wobbly. So I'm going to go, I think, more down to like 3. There we go. And that's how you save time. Cool. So we're just going to option drag now this, like this, and finish off that path.
So there's a question in here from, I think it's Anais Payroud. I have a question that will seem random, but I was wondering if you could quickly show how you did the little radiant shapes behind the diamond in the Hoodzpah icon.
Oh, the radials. Okay, yeah, let me think about that. How would be an easy way? I think I probably just used, so like when you draw, I usually always start with like an easy way, like just like I did on some of my other things. I start with simple shapes and then I customize from there. So if you draw your line, the top half of this line will end up being the top of your radial and the bottom half of the line will be the bottom radial. So you're just going to start here, then you're going to go, you're going to use your Command C to copy the line, and then Command F to paste a copy of that line in front. And you're just going to hold your Shift key and rotate all the way around. So we've got like a crosshair now. Then you're going to copy this crosshair, paste in front, and you're going to rotate it again with a Shift, and you've got like a radial, right? So now what you can do is you could either even do that one more time. So if you go Command C, Command in front, and then you go to Object Transform, then you go to Rotate. And I think it would be like if, let's see, if that's like 60, let's see, let's try 15. I think it's like 22.5 or 15. And you can preview them. It's 22.5. So you're basically figuring out the math of the angle in between those, like what would that be? Like
the points, I guess?
Yeah, the 45 and then, anyway. And so then you got this radial. And then you just go in and you start cutting. And you know how you can figure out where to cut? You can just draw like a little circle.
And Command F is paste in front, right?
Yes, Command F is paste in front. And you're just going to draw a little circle. And that tells you like where you can start cutting your radial lines. And whatever your shape is where you're going to want to cut. Like for us, we have a diamond. So I just did like this. And I made my little white shape. Option drag it over here. Reflect it. And then I've got those radial lines, right? And I can just cut them and they can be individually shaped. Then once you cut them, so like if I cut these two, delete them, and you just select those, for example, you can then start doing things with your width variations. So like under here, under your like variable width profile, you can select one of the ones that they already have, like that, and get kind of more of a radial, or you can make your own. So that's kind of how you do that. But yeah, always starting with easy shapes and then kind of customizing from there, I find is the easiest way to tackle a lot of those things, because I'm not, like, it's hard to use the pen tool sometimes. Just straight out the gate.
Also, Ronnie wants to know if you made Santa Ana Sands in Illustrator or directly in glyphs.
So I'm still not super comfortable of creating things directly in glyphs. I want to practice that to be better, because it truly is so much easier to manipulate and really minutely control the curves and things like that and get great consistency. So what I usually do is I start in Illustrator by just making as close as I can to what I actually want. And then after that is when I take it into glyphs and basically finesse it from there. So, but I would love to start working directly in glyphs. I need to just practice. I need to make time to practice and get used to it, because it really is just so versatile for like the fine detail that goes into type design. So
Andrew Hawkrattle says, hey, I feel like we're getting a preview of the future hood fonts. Can't wait to eventually see these all become full typefaces.
Oh my gosh, right? That's all I need is like I just need 10 more years of my life, and yeah, all these will be typefaces. No big deal.
Also, Zach Beckman says, hey.
What's up, Zach Beckman? How you doing? Friend of the stream. Yeah, they say friend of the podcast. Right. We need to figure out a better way. Friend of the stream. Friend of the something.
The hang. Of the work.
Of the
from home hang.
Virtual hang.
There it is.
Okay, that is a cool squiggly eye. Wow, that's really fun. So I'll just group that, and I like to group stuff as I go, so it's easy to like quickly move things around once I've got something started. Okay, so now we've got our N, and the N is also a currency symbol. So let's see, it's the Nigerian Nairis, and it's an N with 2 lines in it. So we can start with any N. Why don't we, I want to maybe like type out a font that I already have maybe, and like customize it. Maybe we start there. So maybe we go N. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's do this N. I think it's Santa Ana Sands, which is mine. And we'll just draw 2 lines. And you know what? So that it's in keeping, I might just get some dashes to start with. And I'll go type, create outlines. And I'm just going to go like that. Might thin it out a bit. And we've got our little N thing going on here. That feels really heavy, so I think I'm going to pick regular so that more of the like crook of the end, the armpit, if you will, this little area. I don't know if that's the proper term.
I like that, the armpit.
I need to also learn proper font, like typeface terminology, because like when I'm trying to talk to people and like ask for feedback, I'm like, like this little part, and it would just be great if I could like competently tell them what I need help with. So that's also on my list of things to do. But it's like learning a new language. There is so much, like there's so much terminology, and the deeper you get into it, the more terminology. When you get into like variable fonts and like interpolation, like there is so much to learn. Okay, that was good. That looks good. Okay, so I think we need another one that's got some negative space, kind of like our V and our H, so it doesn't get too heavy.
Yeah.
So that's probably what we'll do on the next one, on the G. Okay, I was thinking like a swoopy G. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up something that we did for Adobe, our Adobe Live session, which was so fun. We got to make a fake beer company, and we did this really cool G. And I'm just going to bring it back and work it in here. So let's see if I can find it. Here we go. I will open this one. And that video is actually, they have it on their YouTube. That was a fun one. Okay, so I'm going to take, this G. We didn't use it. We didn't use it, and it deserves to be used. It's got like a little wave in it. Okay, and I'm just going to copy it in here. And I'll probably have to adjust it a bit because it's really wide. But there's something cool about it. Okay. Oh. So I think I'll just, what's the best way to, you know what, I might just get rid of that bottom one and just adjust some of these points. Cool. So yeah, I love to find new uses for my old type projects. Things that didn't get used or didn't get picked.
So Caleb says, hey, I just found out about you guys recently. I'm insanely inspired by your work. I'm currently in university for graphic design right now and want to get into logo design and brand identities. Really loved the Luca treatments and tried to replicate a lot of them just for fun. Super cool techniques.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's good practice, isn't it? It's like, of course, you don't post it or anything, but just to like reverse engineer something, like taking a car apart and then like figuring out how to put it back together,
right,
is like a great way to like learn anything. Like I had never designed a sans serif before, like a full sans serif typeface. And I was like, how hard can it be? Just like with anything that you've never done before, you're like, this looks easy. Like I used to think logo design looked easy. And so I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's like just shapes, like circles and squares and stuff. And then of course, like when I try to like start doing it, I'm like, wow, there's so much nuance. Like I used to have a hard time figuring out the difference between like different sans serifs and like certain product designers or like UI UX designers in tech, or like they can like name sans serifs like at a glance, like that's this one, and there's like minute differences. And I feel like maybe one day I'll get there now, because now I could tell you like the minute differences between, Gotham and Helvetica and Avenir and all these things. It's the best way to learn. Just take it apart. Okay, so that looks pretty cool.
Also, Robert Viadier, if that's how you say it. Go Lakers, beat the Suns.
Go Lakers. Okay, we got a lot of locals in the house.
And like Simone Wilder says, I plan to remain willfully ignorant on type terminology.
Simone, that makes me so glad to hear you say that, because you're like so talented at type, and I'm always like, everyone knows but me. And I'm like, I get so nervous. Like I just get so nervous. But, just got to put your work out there and just hope that people will be kind if you do something wrong. I was so thankful on my last font. I tried to do language support for like some of the European languages. And it's like, I'm familiar sort of with like French and, Spanish, those characters. But like, there's also like, Dutch and like Swedish and all these other crazy languages that I'm not very familiar with. So, but I was trying to just do my best, And Kyle Latondra was so nice. He's a type designer. And he has some beautiful fonts on Lost Type Co., I think. And he wrote in, he was like, hey, just want to let you know, like this, like a gonek is like, it should look like this. And I was like, there are good people in the world that just want to help, and it was just I was so thankful.
And good feedback on that, G, Zach and Chris. And yes, Chris, it was from an Adobe Live. Also, Anna Tomzak says, hi, guys.
What's up, Anna?
Hey, Anna.
Anna Tomczak. That sounds so familiar. Anna, do we know each other? How do we know each other? Maybe we're just Insta friends. It's such a fun small world because of social media. It's totally. We've ditched all of our friends on Instagram. We've
our personal accounts.
All of our real
no one
friends,
lives there.
We left them on Instagram for strangers that just want to roast us on TikTok. What's so wrong funny. With us? I am like so ashamed of myself. Like I'd rather have praise from 10 people that I don't know on TikTok than have real support from my true friends on Instagram. It's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right, but it is how it is. All right, so now I'm going to make a serif lowercase a, and I know I keep saying I want to do thick width variation, but it looks so good. I love like a really varied width anything. I think it's just so fun to see a lot of variation. So that's kind of where I'm starting with on this one. It's going to be a serif A with a really heavy stroke, but not all the way. It's going to be thin at this little serif end.
So Ronnie said he's procrastinating on his exercise, and he said, did you see the Ono type and Grilly tutorials on type design? They're amazing. I'm trying to get into type as a hobby. Nice break from all the interface design.
That's it. I mean, I'm so thankful that people are so transparent with their knowledge nowadays. Like people like, Kel Loren, she has a huge following and she's so generous with her information. And, I forgot the guy's name, but I linked it in our last video, but there's a guy who shows you like step-by-step how to use Glyphs app. And not to mention Glyphs app also has like incredible documentation. And people like, Grilly Type and Ono Typeco are so generous to share all the things that they paid a lot of money to learn, at these like really fancy Swiss schools, or I think he went to like the Paris Cooper Type or something is what Ono did. But yeah, I think all those people are so amazing, and a lot of them teach workshops through like Cooper Type, and I think that's what it's called, Cooper Type. If you look on what's it called now? I forgot. The Letterform Archive. They have a lot of amazing resources for upcoming workshops. If you're like really interested in, you learn better from someone like more directly in like a workshop scenario. They have all sorts of workshops listed on there. And I keep meaning I'd love to take one. I think it would be so interesting to like be able to have someone like actually give you feedback in real time. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, check those out if you're like interested in it. I think it's great how people are sharing their wealth of wisdom.
Natasha, I feel you. She says TikTok makes me feel old and I'm afraid of it. To use it.
Right. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I got on because somebody kept sending me videos, I feel like. And I was like, this sounds fun. And I'm weird. I like to like get on all the platforms, even if I don't intend to use them, just to get my handle just in space. I'm like, I might like this. And then I'll be really sad if I don't have like my usual Amy Hoodlum handle. So like I got my handle, and then literally 2 hours later, after scrolling through hilarious videos, I was like, I was so hooked because there's so much like hilarity and joy, and people don't take themselves too seriously at all. It's not like the influencer Instagram thing of like knowing what you're doing. It's all about not knowing what you're doing. And I just find that so funny that we're not alone.
Oh yeah. Anna says that you guys we're live chat friends.
Yay. We are. Okay, that's what I thought, Anna. Your name is so familiar now.
And Charlie Medina says, hi, watching you all the way from Costa Rica. Hey, from Costa Rica.
That's so cool. Okay, I've got to figure out. There's something wrong with my A. The bowl is looking really weird, but I'm just not. Oh, that's it. This needs to go further out. Okay, and I need to get my anchor point over here.
Jocelyn, hey, where did you get your laptop stand? So there's no laptop stand.
This is actually just a book.
That's a book. And this is an iPad with a foldable magnetic stand.
It's so funny.
It's really just a cover.
Yeah. I looked into laptop stands because my computer sounds like it's going to take off sometimes. And I like to work from my bed sometimes because, why work at home if you don't work from your bed?
Seriously.
Like,
or a comfy chair, the couch.
Yeah, like take advantage.
Throw some pillows on the floor.
And it really does help like with your wrists and like your back if you change positions. So yeah, I sometimes work from my bed, and I like was looking at all these like fancy laptop stands, and then I realized like I can just use a book. And actually, I realized yesterday I'm going to buy a kitchen cutting block. That's all I need. All of the laptop stands out there are just big hunks of wood that they want you to charge $80 for. And I'm like, it's just a cutting board.
You could paint it.
I'm just going to get a cutting board.
Get one and paint it. But
go to IKEA.
Amy Hoodlum's cutting board.
There it is. Or get one. My friend makes these like really cool fancy cutting boards. I'm like, what am I?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like,
your friend?
Sean Woolsey makes the coolest stuff. And again, he was somebody who was, I think, just doing construction. And he started making furniture just for fun. Had not really had formal training, I don't think, at the beginning. Just started making tables for himself, then for friends. It's always how it starts, right? You make something, you share it with your friends, and they say, can I pay you to make one for me? And then it's crazy how that can like spiral into like your business. So I think the important thing is like not being afraid to share what you're up to, because it can be scary. But if you just make it for you and don't think about it as like, this has to be something that everybody loves, it has to be amazing, then like it's easier to share because the stakes are lower. It's just for you. Did you love it? Great. Success. You did it. Share it. And then sometimes you'll be surprised to like who wants to come along. Okay, so now I'm going to move this out. So that's kind of funky, but I'm getting there. What's up?
Caleb says, I'm trying to get into freelance this summer, so I got the paperback version of your book, Fabus, and I'm super excited to read it. I applied for a 99 Designs account but got rejected. I'm 21 and have a lot to learn, so I have to keep working on my craft. Not good enough yet.
The cool thing is you're always good enough for some
for
projects.
Where you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's always going to be a client that needs the skills that you have, that you do know. And so it's like finding those clients, and then, you know, hopefully you can grow together, or if you outgrow them, then you pass them along to maybe a friend or someone that you're mentoring that is at that level that they still need. So that's the cool part, is like you can hopefully, I hope that you find like some clients that need what you're able to do. And then the more practice you get, the better. So you're right. Just keeping on practicing. I got rejected for a ton of stuff, like, because I didn't have a formal education like for design. And I just learned through apprenticeship, thankfully. And I had like one design class I took at community college. What's up, Saddleback College? Whoop, whoop. But it was like impossible for me to find a job where people would let me work for them. So, I know exactly what's wrong. So, but anyway, I just had to start making stuff to kind of prove that I knew. And it was great because I didn't know a lot. So it actually helped me to like hone my skills a little bit more. And we ended up starting Hoodzpah, and then I ended up not needing a job because I kind of made my own job. But yeah, that's great. I keep going, man. Okay, so I've got my A. Oh, that's not it. I need to Pathfinder these two shapes together. One day I'll get used to actually using the shape builder, but for now I keep forgetting about it, and I keep going back to my steady Pathfinder. Okay, there we go. We got it. It's closer anyway. So I'm going to drag this in around. This is the A and around.
Oh, I liked it that big. That was fun.
It is fun to have size variation. So around me, yeah, A. I wonder, no, that's good for now. If we think that it's still too heavy, we could always do like outline thing. Mm-hmm. That could be fun. So it's still totally wonky down here, but I'll figure it out later. I need to like step away from it, I think is the thing. So I'll just step away from it, put it there for now, and come back to it later. Making the time to step away is so important.
Very. I always look at things the next day and I'm like,
yeah, like it was fine, really. It was actually fine. Like why was I so freaked out?
Even just closing it for a second, like, and then opening it right back up again. I'm like, oh, right, that color's wrong, or whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to open Lone Pine, which is this really wild font that I made with like these crazy swashes. And I made a bunch of fun little extra glyphs for it. And one of them was like this globe thing. You know how everyone's using like the globe brutalist look now? Let's throw a globe in. What does it mean? Who knows?
What does it mean?
The world, here's what it means. The world runs on cash. There, we made it mean something.
There it is.
There. Okay, but that's fun. Yeah, that's good because it's kind of bringing in some of that negative space like in the V and the H.
Yep.
It's good. Balance. The R is too heavy, but I love it. So we'll figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, I like that R.
Maybe we swap this R up here. It's a little bit lighter. Just move that down there and that one up here. Get some weight up there. Ooh. And maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay. So casseroles, everything around. So let's do a U. What do we got for the U down here? Oh, I spelled it around.
Around me.
Ooh. So that's going to be awkward. Oh no. I need one more. Oh, that's a bummer. I need a U and an N and a D.
You could use one of the little pictures.
Yeah, maybe this globe like breaks the frame. Do we? Chat, if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears because I'm at a loss. I created a typo that's created a problem for myself that it's okay. It's okay, we'll figure it out. What I might do is I might just make a new globe that's smaller. A smaller globe that can kind of go in between so it at least feels like intentional. So I'll go Command C for this to copy this circle perfectly. I'm going to go Command F to paste it on top directly in place. And then I'm just going to Option drag in to make like a perfect globe, make some new parallel lines. What are those called again?
Fascinating.
There's like the longitude and latitude. Longitude, because long.
Yeah.
Longitude.
Longitude.
Longitude. I remember when I used to study for homework, all these hilarious little like tricks I used to use. Okay, that's better. And then if we can like make this skinnier, then I hope it still reads as if we have any Indian people in the chat, let us know if this still reads as the symbol for it's the rupee. Okay, so there's that. That can live on there.
Natasha says, if it were me, I'd start crying, so you're doing good.
Here's the great part about live streaming. You can't cry on air.
I mean, do that later.
Influencers do it. Why can't we do it? But yeah, so you kind of just have to keep going.
Keep a brave face.
Keep a brave face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this Lone Pine typeface that I made, and I'm just going to kind of like extend it so it's a condensed version of that. Okay, we're kind of making it work. Now the N and the D can have their own place, so that's good. Okay.
We have a few suggestions. Arutza says you could put the O in the U. Natasha said,
oh, that's clever. Kowal, you're here. Rupee. Oh my gosh, thank you, Kowal. Oh my gosh, hello. Kowal has a podcast called Design. Oh shoot. Kowal, link it for us or tell us what it's called. It's called like Design is Everywhere. Design that way. That's what it is. And he interviews international designers like from everywhere. It's really neat. Okay, so right now I have it there. I might actually try that idea of putting the O in the U because I think that's such a clever idea. So I'm just going to Option drag down this layout that's like pretty close, just in case we decide to go back to it. I'm afraid to delete anything. I'm a kind of a hoarder when it comes to design. So I'm just going to deselect all those, move this down, and that way I can move them back into place if we decide that looks the best. I'm going to group my new globe, type a new U so I can get it actually wider. I'm going to create outlines, and I'm going to double click in and just grab my direct select tool and start kind of tweaking it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that direction, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that direction, and maybe one up on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Shift C, and that'll allow me to pull out these handles on this anchor point and like adjust that curve.
It's good to know.
Yeah. So.
I'm like, why?
Which C? Yeah, it's like, I'm always like, is it Command C, Option C? Like, which C is it? Okay, so let's try I really like that idea of the O in it, or the globe in it. That's kind of neat. I don't know if it'll read as well, so we'll see. We'll have to see if that kind of reads. If not, we have our other one still down there. Okay, so around me.
Oh, like the world, it's like around. Also.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Yeah, right.
That's cool, man. There's a lot of
that's cool, man. Okay, so there's that, and then we got to get an N. Now let's see what we could do for an N. What do I have in my little sketch? Oh, I just have kind of like a cool like slab serif thing.
Slab. Spencer Walls says, just wanted to say the new typeface is incredible, perfect for a project that just landed.
What's up, Spencer? I feel like we talk a lot on Instagram. Alex Walls. Do you know Alex Walls? Anyway, thank you so much. That's so kind. And yeah, I can't wait to see how people use it. It's so fun because like you design the font and then you think like you try to make little graphics that like show off how it could be used. But then like seeing what other people cook up that you never would have been able to cook up because you're you and they're them is like the coolest part. It's just so neat to see the versatility. Okay, so there's
I'm digging this. I think it's cool, right?
Yeah, I like it in it. Once we're done, we'll be able to test like the legibility factor. So for now, I'm just going to keep going. So we already have a serif there. We have a serif A. We have kind of like a slab reverse contrast serif on the U. So maybe we should do like a more simple U, like just maybe like I'm going to just type out U in Santa Ana Sans bold, extra bold. And then I'm just going to outline it, I think. And we'll see. Oh, I need an N. What am I doing? An N.
around
me. Actually, that's fine. That works.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Boom. Done.
Boom. Okay, and then D. What did we have in mind for D? Okay, the D is going to be a dong from Vietnam. And it's a lowercase d with, again, the two lines through it, kind of like a dollar sign. So what could we do for the D? Let's see. We've got a lowercase, a serif. Maybe like a script would be kind of cool. I'm not sure if that's like allowed, but let's go. D with, has it legit been an hour already?
No.
Oh,
shoot.
Nope. It's 11:30.
It's been 31 minutes.
Oh, do we
supposedly. We started at,
Well, if it has been an hour, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play y'all a commercial that we made.
Commercial break.
Because today's stream is brought to you by Santa Ana Sans, the new font from Hoodzpah. That's us, yes. And it's my pride and joy. I worked the last year on it, and it's versatile, it's stylish, it's like an El Camino. So let me just go ahead and run the reel. That video was so fun to make. I always used to love seeing like big launch videos, whether it was for like a rebrand or if you have never seen it, actually, speaking of rebrand videos, the Coldwell Banker one is like, it's the stuff of legend. Like, I just want to know what was happening in the boardroom. I imagine it was somewhat akin to the Key and Peele sketch for Gremlins 2 pitch meeting, because it is wild. Just look it up. Coldwell Banker rebrand release video. It's absolutely hilarious. But I've always wanted to make one, so we finally were like, it was like 5 days before the launch of this that we're planning, this font, and I'm like, you know what we should do? Launch video. And Jen's like, we don't have time. So I messaged Chris Maher and Audrey Stemmen, who are animators that I know that are in our Freelance and Business and Stuff course. And I was like, do you all have time in the next 5 days to make this launch video with me? And they were like, game on, let's do it. And we pumped this out in like 5 days, and I just like threw it all together. And they made it look so good, and I've never gotten to make such a cool launch video. I love it. It's so fun. So thank you to them and to Johnny Niddle, who makes our theme music, which I want to use it everywhere. We sing it sometimes in the house. It's crazy in the office. But yeah, so Thank you all. Back to finishing up our design. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Sorry, I've got all my like Ecamm Live stuff and this that I'm trying to work with. Okay, so we're making like serious progress. That's why I love doing stuff on live stream. Like the pressure to just keep going and like make something is just I do well.
Apparently, it has been an hour.
Time flies. It's crazy.
Makes
What
sense
is time? Okay, so I'm gonna enter Beverly Drive. Again, I'm just gonna use one of my fonts. What the hey? Why not? This is why I've become I never used to be this person. I used to be the kind of person that would like not buy fonts unless it was for a client. I didn't buy fonts just to like keep on hand, like just in case. But now I see like why that's so handy, because you just never know when you need it for a certain project, and like having it in its entirety, not just like a trial version to like actually test typesetting and stuff, is so nice. So I've started to become one of those people. And boy, I tell you, Future Fonts has so many cool fonts that I need to like hop on. One of them is, okay, the dong looks like, okay, so it's got 2 lines on the stem of the D and 1 line underneath. But one of the Future fonts that I've been eyeing for a while is Eric Marinovich. He has this like, it's like really quirky, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like quirkier hobo with less rounds, like more sharp edges. It's like kind of retro. It's really good. They've got all sorts of really good typefaces on their fonts. So check it out. Future Fonts. And the cool thing is like it allows designers to sell fonts that are kind of in the works. So it's like if they have 3 weights done, but they plan to do 6 eventually, they can launch those 3 weights and just do versions and then update users with the new files as they go. So it's pretty cool. I think that's like a really cool way to encourage people to start making money on like a big project that's like a big time consuming one. You know, it's neat. Cool business model. Okay, so this is our stylized Vietnamese dong. And if anyone understands Vietnamese or has seen this symbol, let us know. Is this right? We'll double check it later, but I'm just curious if anyone in the chat knows. I've never been to Vietnam, but my friend went and it looked gorgeous, like just like lush and green and humid and, you know, all that. Oh my gosh, we are done. Casual's everything around me. Okay, so now I think we need to pick, can you read around? Chat, this is your chance to hop in, help us out. Casual's everything around me. We know what it says, but think about this if you just like saw it firsthand. Can you read around from that line? Does that actually read that? Because our other option is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to option drag another option, and I'm going to unlock my layers that has my background stuff on it. Just move all this to the side, and I'm going to use my artboard tool and just option drag an option because I want to bring up this other around and I want to be able to compare it later. And I'm going to send it to a friend. I'm going to call a friend, just like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I never have been a game show person. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, that was such a huge part of our culture. So at the time, like Regis Philbin doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I just was like, just don't care. Okay, so there's this. And then let's grab our N and our D. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure they're grouped. And I'm just going to select those, make sure I'm on my artboard, my right-hand side artboard. I'm going to go Command C. Then I'm going to click onto my first artboard and I'm going to go Command F, and it'll paste it in place depending on the artboard you have selected. So it's pretty cool. So which do we feel like is more legible? It's definitely the right-hand side, right? This one looks like crowded in an awkward way.
Yeah, it's the right side.
Yeah, it's the right side. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this down. This background.
Martina Fontana says it's readable.
Yay! This is so fun. Wow, I love this. And what I might do is
And Lydia, also
okay,
super readable.
Cool. Thanks, y'all.
Cooper Blask says the R looks like an F at first glance, but it is kind of funky that way.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it may not be like completely legible, but once you get it and you see like the currency symbols, I'm hoping it's one of those like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's clever. So we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, so I'm going to move this up to the top. And I was thinking what I could do is maybe like make this block into 3, and then maybe I could put like the actual chapter number, chapter 3, Or maybe I could, oh, you know what we should do? We should just go ahead and give quote credit. You got to give quote credit. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Lydia says, the one on the left looks like an afterthought, whereas the second on the right looks like you're being edgy.
Ah, yes, that's what we want. You never want it to feel like an afterthought. That's a really good point. Sometimes it's hard to know, like, does this look accidental or does this look on purpose weird?
Yeah.
On purpose brutalist. Yeah. Or does it just look ugly?
No. Not that.
Sometimes it's tough.
Sometimes it is.
I don't know if this is the right font, this Beverly Drive, but it's making me laugh for right now. It's probably more like a Santa Ana Sans is what we should do. Santa Ana Sans regular, and then I'm going to go all caps. Gotta go all caps. Got to. And I think that's a hyphen. I think you're supposed to do a hyphen between Wu-Tang. And then I'm going to do like a longer dash.
Yeah, I think there's a hyphen. I don't know anything about them, but I think that's right.
But I bet you know the songs. Like if it came on.
Yeah, like if it came on.
You'd probably know
I don't know the names of bands.
You don't know the names of any bands. That's so funny.
But I know all the words to their songs.
All the songs. Cool, that looks really great. I'm loving that. So what I think I might do is just select everything, and I'm just going to move it down, have a little bit more space on the top. And
this is so cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I'm going to go ahead and I won't delete it because I'm scared. Just delete it. I don't need it. I'm becoming a hoarder. Don't delete it. I'm a digital hoarder.
What if you use it later?
Everything's there, just in a different order. So I'm just going to go delete. It's gonna make me feel better. I'm going to Marie Kondo that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. You were great while you lasted, but that's it. This looks so good. Okay, so this is where we end up. Cash rules everything around me. This is going to be a new chapter opener. I feel good about it. I think I might go ahead and this could be like a teenth smaller. It's a bit aggressive. But overall, I really like it. And we got quite a few like international currency symbols in. I'm pretty stoked on it. So what we want to do real quick before we leave, we want to do a giveaway. Because like we said, we just released that new font and we want you to have it. We want you to use it, abuse it however you want. Commercial, personal projects, however you want to use it. So B, what was our question that we came up with for our giveaway?
Who was the illustrator of The Very Hungry Caterpillar?
He's no longer with us, unfortunately. Yeah. R.I.P. But it was cool. I didn't realize his name. It's one of those things that you grow up with and it's such a part of your childhood, like The Very Hungry Hippo. And then there's one with the bear and like...
Yeah, brown bear, the busy spider.
Okay, you remember him.
The grouchy ladybug. The grouchy ladybug is just so cute. He did like 50 of them or 49.
Did it really? Wow, so prolific. So if anyone knows who it is, feel free to go ahead and Google it if you have to. I know the chat's a little bit delayed. But, Lydia Simone says, great, now I need to buy the second edition of Fabas.
Oh, okay. Alessandra Melee. Eric Carl.
Alessandra Melee.
Oh, there it is.
You won. Eric Carl. Man, talk about someone who just like was a part of our upbringing. There's those things that are just like, I just so distinctly remember about like my upbringing. The other would be like every road trip we went on, my mom would let us pick like a drink and like a chip from like the 7-Eleven on the road. And I would always get Clearly Canadian in like cherry, which was the OG LaCroix. And when I saw it the other day and I had completely forgot about it, like I remembered what it was, but I was like, what was that name of that? And it was Clearly Canadian and it's legit. It's so good.
Okay, so Alessandra, please
email
us at info@hoodzpahdesign.com with your needs so that right? Wait.
Yeah, so that we can send you your files. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to call it short today because I have a couple client projects that I got to get to. But thank you all for tuning in. We had such a blast. Definitely like and subscribe if you want to hang out with us next time. We're going to be doing these hopefully weekly again now that things are slowing down a bit. And we will see you next time. So we are wishing you strong Wi-Fi and a full Netflix queue. Bye, everyone.